So Phil, first of all, tell us a bit about yourself and your new role at the club.
Okay, well, thank you for this. My name's Phill Holdsworth. I came to Harrogate back in 2016, and one of the first things I thought was, how do I get to know local people? Well, I love football, I always have, and Harrogate got a football club, so I came along as a supporter, bought a season ticket, and just really got to know people in the stands and just enjoyed the football. I come from Bradford originally, so you have to forgive me for that. But Bradford City was my first club really that I fully supported, and I just remember the first match I went to there was with Huddersfield Town when I was a little kid, and so I was bought into it and been a football supporter ever since. But now I'm definitely Harrogate all the way.
So what kind of thing have you been involved with so far in your role as support liaison officer?
Well, at the moment, I would say it's a big learning curve for me, because as a club we've not had this role before, and I certainly have not been in this role, but the idea would be that you had somebody who was certainly fan-based, knew some of the fans, that you could then sort of communicate with them. And so when the idea was brought forward that the EFL required this of a club, I just felt very privileged to be asked to fulfil this role. So that was really the sort of start. I was very much involved on the peripheral, and I think as a result of that, people got to know a little bit about me, the type of person I am, and so hopefully I'll do this role justice.
And you had your first meeting with supporters virtually recently, I believe. What
Yes.
was the feedback and how did that go for you?
I think it was actually very good, and I was surprised, because I know there's been lots of frustrations going backwards and forwards, and really at the end of the day, we don't really want to go back over the past, but having said that, we do want to bring closure to some things so we can move forward, and I felt that it was a very positive meeting. And we started to get some things in place, and an understanding, certainly the beginnings, of what this role would be and what it would mean for supporters as well. So.
And how does the current situation we find ourselves in with lockdown affect your role? Does that make it more difficult to keep supporters engaged when they can't actually attend the matches here?
Yeah, it is obviously more difficult, where we've got to use other channels of communication to get messages out, and hence why we're doing what we're doing today. But certainly in terms of communication, social media and so on, I personally, and I'm sure lots of other people are like this, communication face to face is key, and you can never sort of substitute that through other means, even things like online meetings. And so we all miss that face to face. So yeah, it's made it a little bit more difficult, but not impossible. And so as we go along, we'll learn better ways in which we can communicate more directly with a wider fan base, not just those who are members like myself of the supporters club here, but the wider fan base that support Harrogate Town.
So is that communication something you'd say that is one of your main aims to achieve while in this role for the club?
I would say it's one of my main aims. I think communication's key with any organisation. If it's not clear, if there's ambiguity about it, if people don't feel they're listened to on all sides, then it can create problems going forward, and often then becomes the barrier for whatever we're trying to do to make that successful. So I think communication's key. But I think also, when we are able to return as fans to the club, making it a safe place to come, making that match day experience something of real value for every individual who comes along and supports Harrogate Town, including the away fans. So.
Thank you, Phil. I wish you every success in the role.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.